Your very first NFL game as a Seahawk was at Lambeau Field. What do you remember about that game?
I remember just being super nervous because I wasn't expecting to call my number so early. So I'm out there, and then I remember Aaron Rodgers leaving his huddle. So I thought he was calling the play. He left his huddle, walked towards me. He stared at me for about 10 seconds, which is a very long time to be staring at someone. And then he walked back. He just kind of shook his head, walked back to his huddle, gave the play, and then he threw a deep ball at me. A back shoulder fade to Devontae Adams, actually. He threw a back shoulder fade, and I was like, whoa, is this what I got to do for the rest of the game? So that was different for me. So I guess that was his way of saying hello and welcome to the league, because he didn't say nothing. He just stared at me. He nodded his head, went back to the huddle, and came back out and threw a deep ball.
He was testing you.
He was.
He going to test you on Sunday?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he is. And that's something that I'm looking forward to, and it's definitely a tad bit different than it was my rookie year. So it would be a tad bit different, but I'm looking forward to that. Just being tested. Don't matter who is out there. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be fun. So I'm excited for that.
What's the toughest part about playing Aaron Rodgers?
The toughest part is just the experience. The things that he knows. I feel like the plays that he can do and extend plays. He's the best probably ever to be able to extend plays the way he do and make plays out of nothing. And when you're playing against a guy like that, you got to beat the guys around him. You can't sit here like, okay, we're going to do this to Aaron Rodgers, we're going to do that. You can't do that because a guy who's been in the league for so long, who's been doing it for so long, at the level he's been doing it, it's hard to beat guys like that. But it's the guys that's around him that you got to take care of. When you take those pieces away, those great pieces that he do have around him, you start, one by one taking those guys away. And then that's how you defeat Aaron Rodgers, But I take my hat off to that guy who's been doing it for so long and at the level that he's been doing it. I tip my hat off to a guy like that. But like I said, we got to win the battle around Aaron Rodgers.
What makes it so difficult to play at Lambeau Field?
Maybe right now it's probably the weather. Probably one of the most difficult thing. I've never been too, hyped up on the fans and the fan base, and I'm good at kind of blocking all that stuff out. But now you going to a place where it's freezing cold. They're used to it. It get cold here, but it's not that type of weather. So it's different. And for a person who doesn't play it as much, I feel like that's gonna be the different thing when it comes, for me. But that's the most exciting thing, to be able to play in a weather that you never played before. And I hope it do snow. That's something I definitely want to see. I never experienced that. I get a chance to see people play in it, but I've never been the guy to play in snow. So if it does, I'm kind of excited for that. I just want to see it. I want to be a part of that.
Why do you think this team is built for a potential Super Bowl run?
Oh, man, it's just the way we fight each game. I feel like we didn't have not one game where it's more than 2 touchdowns that we won, but I feel like every game was, just by a couple points. So, we're battle tested, and I feel like we're made for, positions like this. I feel like every game in the playoffs usually are close. This past week, I think we had 2 overtimes, in a row, and that's different. Every game is going to be close, and we've been doing that all year. So we're battle tested, and I feel like that's why we're prepared to be able to make this run to the Super Bowl and be able to win the games that we need to win, because we've been through it so many times before. So I think that's why we're ready, to make the Super Bowl run.
Do you listen to critics?
No, I've never been too big. I feel like everybody is entitled to their own opinion, and I feel like some things don't change, and when they do, I feel like it can come right back to where it used to be. So I've never been too big on critics. They like you at once, and then they dislike you, and then they love you again. It's too wishy-washy for me to really buy into the critics. So I just play my game, and as long as this organization is winning, I'm happy.
Do you embrace the underdog role then?
Always. Love it. And I feel like I've always been that underdog my whole life, so I had no choice but to fall in love with being an underdog. And, when you're underdog, there's no expectation set on yourself. The only thing you can do is go out there and give your best effort, and whatever, you just leave nothing behind, no regrets. And I feel like that's an underdog, and I feel like that's always been me, that's always will be me, and that's how I get my best game, being an underdog.
What's your favorite part about this locker room?
I feel like just being ourselves. I feel like I have met a lot of different people. I've seen a lot of different people go, but one thing about it, everybody brought their own personality to this locker room. I've seen people who was quiet, who didn't talk much, come here and open up. And that's different when you have a locker room to bring the best out of you. I feel like that's the best thing I love the most is this locker room truly loves people for who they are. And I think that's the best part about this locker room. You just be you.
What do you learn about yourself in a playoff game?
Just how to stay poised. I feel like, some people, they let the spotlight get too big for themselves. I feel like every game should be treated like a championship game. I shouldn't feel like, okay, it's a playoff game, let me do something a little bit different, a little bit more. It should never be that, because you should be giving your all for every game. And I learned that more going into the playoff game, just seeing how people react to it, and not just our team. I feel like our team do really well with keeping everything the same. But I had teammates, first time in the playoffs, and they going through this, this change, and going through this game last week, and it's like, what should I do now? What should I do differently? Don't change nothing, and it's just be able to see how people react to it. Some things people do too much, and you don't have to, just besides being yourself. And I feel like I learned that about myself. Don't change anything. Just play my game like I've been doing it, and and treat everything, every game the same.
Finally, this franchise hasn't won a divisional road playoff game since 1983. Do you consider the history behind what that would mean to the franchise as a whole? I mean, you weren't born. I was 1 year old. If they were able to win a game like this?
It'd be huge. And that's the best thing about it. I feel like we're not here just to, change what happened or, try to just make history. It's not about that. I feel like we're here to win for each other. And by doing that, history comes with it. So, one thing we can imagine is going in and just giving our best and playing for each other and coming back with the W, and then with everything that's coming with it, we'll love that too. At the end of the day, we just got to win this game, and we just got to take it one game at a time. And once you're doing that, there's so many things you can change in history by just doing exactly what you need to do, and not just playing the next game as hard as you can.
Good luck on Sunday.
No doubt. Appreciate you.